Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the TCLOUD Python course demo. Before I go into the topics, I would like to walk over the complete summary of what we provide. So the complete course content is of 30 hours. We provide some good infrastructure and lab setup. We have online and class-based tutorials. The notes we provide, also the notes, the complete PPTs, whatever we do teach across, we do provide it in form of PDFs. And associated with that, we have the computer-based tutorials to walk out the classes at any time of the day. And there is a complete lab which is there for the practice. So let's get into the topics as such, what we are going to cover for the next 30 hours. The topics will be starting with basically the Unit 1 and the Unit 2 being working with Linux and editor in Linux, which is more to help ourselves on working on a Linux-based operating system. That said, you can even work on a Windows-based operating system, but since most of our lab setup is on Ubuntu and Linux Mint-based servers or desktops, we will be concentrating more on Linux areas. Next, in the chapter Unit 3, we'll learn about why to use Python, where we can use Python, how helpful Python is, and how different Python is from other programming languages. Then we have setting up Python in Linux. How do you install Linux in a Linux-based operating systems like Red Hat, Fedora, Ubuntu, or Mint. We're working on those. Then we learn about the help options in Unit 5, which is more to cover with how do you help yourself on a day-to-day basis when you come across a new topic. Coming to the Unit 6, we cover variables, expressions, and statements, which is to do more with how do you work with your numbers, floats, and string variables, and what do you mean by typecasting, how typecasting works in Python. Then we learn around control statements. We learn about how to work with if conditions and how do you actually go around with making some decisions as short. Unit 8, we learn about recursions. The recursions is more to do with your while loop, for loop and stuff. How do you write a while and for loops in your Python? Then we have data structures. Data structures consist of your lists, tuples, and dictionaries. The lists being a mutable list of values which you can modify, tuples being a read-only, and dictionaries is, as the name suggests, it's a dictionary of the values having a key and a value pair. We'll be working over these three. Then we'll be having functions, which is more to writing your code in such a way that you can use it anywhere within the program. So we'll learn how Python actually helps us to write the functions in a very easy and a prudent way. Then we have modules. Modules are something more associated with how do you start using an already existing program and how can you use the modules of a Python, modules in a particular Python program in our current existing program. So we learn about how to play around with modules, how do you do a pip install, what do you mean by pypy.org and these all stuff. Then coming down to Unit 12, Unit 12 we'll start working with persistent databases, something like how do you save your output in form persistently, like files, like you can save your outputs in form of files, how do you read from files, and those all things. Then we come to exceptions. Exceptions is more to do with whenever you encounter an error, how do you handle that, or how do you raise your own exceptions when you write your own applications, is what we learn in Unit 13. Unit 14 is more to do with the regular expressions. In regular expressions, we learn more in and out about how do we play with pattern matching. Like suppose you want to grab for some email addresses in a text, or maybe you want to grab some stuff from the net or somewhere where you want to look for a particular pattern. That is what we'll be learning in regular expressions, which is again a very important part. Then we cover classes, which is more of an object-oriented programming language, where we learn about how Python fits into that particular area of object-oriented programming. Then we have debugging in Python. So debugging in Python is very important. So how do you debug yourself in Python is what we'll be learning. Then we have logging. Logging is more to do with how do you log the messages. So whenever you are doing some activity within the program, you need not always go and debug the program as such. You can know at what component there are errors and what component you need to look into. We can achieve that using logging. Then we get bit into the network level programming, that is called socket programming. We learn how to create the client based, how to create the server based, how to create the connections, how to create the threads. So these are the various things that we're learning in the socket programming. Then next we come to the CJ programming, which is more to do with common gateway interface, where you can talk with the web using your programs. We will be learning it around. And the last one being your database connectivity. The database connectivity, like how do you connect to multiple databases like Oracle, MySQL and stuff. So this is going to be the 20 units, which will be around 30 hours of a duration. The whole content, whatever we will be providing here, so let us say we are in installation of Python, so we have a complete documentation as such of complete things, and we'll be providing you the complete notes of whatever we teach in the class. So that is one of the advantages that we get in this particular thing. And apart from that, we have support support to our team. We have support from our team in form of mails groups, where you can actually post your questions. You can keep in touch with us. Same time, we have whatever the classes we do provide a computer-based tutorials on that, which you can drop by at any time and you can walk over them. So that is the that's it, guys. Thank you. Hope you subscribe, and thanks.